They called her unstable. They said it was a misunderstanding. They even said my mom exaggerated the poisoning. But nobody expected me to find the files she hid. Files that proved my mom wasn't Cynthia's first victim. If you're new here, hit subscribe, because today's story shows exactly how quiet revenge destroys the guilty, louder than any scream. I was 16 when Cynthia tried to poison my mother. To the police, she was my uncle's troubled girlfriend. To my school, she was that woman who overreacted. To my extended family, she was misunderstood. To me, she was the woman who nearly killed my mom while smiling, and they all expected us to move on. But I didn't, and that was her mistake. It happened on a quiet Wednesday evening. My dad's sister, my uncle, and his girlfriend Cynthia came over for dinner. Cynthia always had this unsettling sweetness, the kind of smile that didn't reach her eyes. The kind of voice that sounded like she was always rehearsing her conversation. During dinner, she excused herself and returned with a tray. On it was a single glass of lemonade. Only for my mother. My mom took one sip. Her lips turned blue. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She collapsed so fast that her chair hit the floor before she did. The paramedics arrived in minutes. The doctor confirmed. There were traces of chemical cleaners in her blood. Poison, and Cynthia. She cried in front of the police. Cried in front of my uncle. Cried in front of everyone. My uncle defended her. It was an accident. She grabbed the wrong glass. Somehow, unbelievably, the police didn't arrest her that night. A week later, the case was closed as inconclusive. My family tried to move on, but I couldn't forget Cynthia's eyes. She didn't look scared. She looked annoyed, like my mom surviving ruined her plan. Months passed. Then my uncle came over to return some paperwork. I noticed an envelope slipped inside his bag accidentally. He didn't even realize it had fallen out. My name wasn't on it. I wasn't supposed to open it, but something in me whispered, "Look." When I unfolded the papers, my stomach dropped. It was an old background check on Cynthia, paid for by my uncle. At first, everything looked normal. Addresses, previous jobs, contacts. Then a single line made my heart stop. Former caretaker for the Lewis family. Employment ended after child hospitalization. Unresolved investigation. Child hospitalization. Unresolved. I googled the family name. Nothing. Then I dug deeper. Old news archives. Local forums. A parenting blog from years ago. I found a small article. Toddler suffers sudden respiratory arrest. Babysitter questioned. The babysitter's name was not listed initially, but then in the comments, a user wrote, "I always suspected her. Cynthia L." My blood froze. It was her. This wasn't her first time. And that toddler. He didn't survive. I didn't run to my parents. I didn't scream. I didn't confront my uncle. I planned. I printed every file, every article, every witness comment, everything I could find on the Lewis family case. Then I found the mother's contact information. She still lived in the same town. Emailed her. I didn't expect a reply, but 3 hours later, she wrote back, "If this is true." I knew she would hurt someone else. She agreed to talk. Her voice cracked the entire phone call. She told me her son had stopped breathing after eating cookies Cynthia baked. They couldn't prove the cause. But she always believed Cynthia was involved. I told her what happened to my mom. There was dead silence. Then she said 3 words. "Let's reopen everything." The Lewis mother contacted the original detective on her child's case. I provided all the evidence I had. Together, we built a chain. Cynthia poisoned a toddler years ago. Cynthia poisoned my mother recently. Cynthia always avoided charges through tears and manipulation. But this time, we had documentation, patterns, witness statements, hospital toxicology reports. The detective refiled the case. And then the moment came. Police knocked on our door. My uncle was standing in our driveway. Cynthia beside him, looking irritated as always. A black sedan pulled up. 2 detectives stepped out. "Cynthia L." One officer said, "You're under arrest for the attempted poisoning of Emily's mother, and for reopening of the Lewis case." Her eyes widened, not with fear, but with pure rage. Like she couldn't believe someone dared outsmart her. She screamed my name as they took her away. My uncle didn't defend her this time. He just stood there, mouth open, finally seeing what she really was. A predator who hid behind tears. The Lewis family came to visit us months later. The mother hugged mine. Both cried. Our cases were combined. Cynthia now faced charges in both. The prosecutors had enough evidence to ensure she could never hurt anyone else again. My uncle tried to apologize. But my dad said quietly, "We protect our family. You protected her. He hasn't been around much since. And me. I learned something important. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't always come from yelling or confrontation. Sometimes justice is quiet. It lives in documents, in research, in patience, in truth that doesn't need to scream." Cynthia thought poisoning my mother would end in silence. Instead, it ended her entire life. If you want more real-life revenge stories where the truth wins, hit subscribe, and stay until the next twist.